were you a twirling child?
I was definitely the child. My mother will always sit me down and she's like, okay, so everybody's coming over. Do that little dance that you do. I was always the one, I'm the first one, like, for the camera, doing all that. So I can get an extra little Debbie cake, you know.
Yes. Now, what was the vibe of your family like?
Well, I have 5 brothers, and then my mom and my dad were in my household. So growing up, it was chaotic because like it was so many people in our little ass house. We had like a 3-bedroom house. It was just like really tiny, but we just really had to make stuff work. But also, I think it gave me a good sense of humor because we would always talk shit about each other all the time. Like, my mama would talk shit about us. We would talk shit about my daddy. My brothers would talk shit about us. So it's like now it's like we're, you know, like water off a duck's back. You better learn how to catch it and throw it back, or child, you're gonna be sitting there with hurt feelings.
You were prepared early for Drag Race and the workroom.
Yeah, there it is.
Now, you were interested in fashion and pop culture from a young age. Who were your idols when you were young?
Oh my God, when I was young, you know, I loved Michael and Whitney. I really loved like artists that like my mother would like buy the CDs and like, she loves them so much, then they must be really amazing. And then I would listen to the music with her and like fall in love. But then I also really loved like classic films and like Elizabeth Taylor because my grandmother would always like watch all these movies. And at first I thought it was like, this is so boring, it's black and white. But then after a while, I'm like, you know what, this is so artistic, and it's like a glamour that we don't get to see all the time anymore.
And it started to seep into you, and you started to know.
Like the BB cream I'm wearing today.
Well, when we had Gigi on the show, she said one of the most infuriating things about you was that you looked prettier the longer you were in drag.
Everybody says that the whole entire time. I'm always like, I look shiny, I look like a troll or something. I just want to get out of drag, but that's so funny that you just say that.
A friend called you Jaida when you first put on a wig for the first time, is that right?
Yeah, y'all did research.
Uh-huh.
Lord.
And then the essence came from your boyfriend who called you the essence of beauty. And Hall, of course, is your drag family.
Yeah.
Now, when did you first meet your drag family?
Oh my God, I was doing a pageant, and I definitely thought I should have won the pageant, but you know things go the way they go. And Taj Mahal, who is like huge in the pageant scene, and she's like with a huge personality, she was at the pageant, and she made a post like, I can't believe that they did that, and that girl didn't win the pageant. And I like commented, it was like, haha, LOL, or whatever, like just being a little messy, you know, it's like mess tea, y'all get into the mess. And she was like, well, I was talking about you. And I was like, oh my God, well, thank you. And I was like, well, I wish that I had somebody in my life that can like help guide me through drag because you seem to know a lot about what you do. And she was like, oh, well, I'll take you under my wing. And then like after that, it was just history.
Now, pageants was, of course, preparation for the biggest pageant of all, Drag Race.
Literally.
What was your very first pageant?
My first pageant was Miss City of the Lakes. And not City of the Lakes, oh my God. Oh my God, what is the name of the pageant? It was so long ago.
Miss Five?
Miss City of Festivals.
Miss City of Festivals.
Miss City of Festivals. That was it. Oh my God. And y'all, when I tell y'all, I came to registration in my jeans with my sunglasses on and my wig, and I was burning it. That's what I thought until I came in dead last at that pageant.
Now, what was the first pageant you won?
The first pageant that I won was City of Festivals because I did not win, and then I did another pageant, I did not win, and then another one and lost, and lost, and lost, and lost. And I was like, next year, I'm coming back, and I'm gonna do that pageant, and I'm gonna win that pageant. And then I did, and I won every category. They call it a sweep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, is that the secret to becoming a top-tier pageant queen, is you gotta do it till you get good at it?
100%. I don't even think you gotta do it until you get good at it. I think you gotta do it until you're comfortable losing. That's the T. Because like, even when I did Drag Race, after you do competitions for a while, you learn and you start to know that like, it's not about winning the competition, it's about what the competition can do for you afterwards. So like, even with Drag Race, I'm like, child, the goal is to win because that's a lot of money and you can do a lot with that and you can do a lot for your career, but also just the opportunity to be on the show and show the world what you can do is like more than enough. So you have to think about it with that mindset.
That pageant that you swept, what was your talent? What was the interview? What were the things that really did it that time?
I wore a prom dress that was beautiful and yellow, and it was fitted. It was cute. I looked at, looking back, I'm thinking in my head now. I'm in this time machine with you now, ready to step out. But
We're looking through. We see you in the dress. Yellow is a lovely color on you.
Yes. But I think I did talent, and my talent was like I did this, like this little like Asian-inspired talent. It was like really cute, and like we were like dancing and stuff. Thinking back now, there could be a lot of changes, but you know, back then it was real fresh. For 2010, it was making something happen, you know.
And so when you were doing pageants at night, what were you doing during the day?
Oh my God, I had a lot of jobs, and I was horrible at every job. Like I worked at AT&T. I was like a can we say AT&T?
Yes, we can.
We can say AT&T. I worked at AT&T and I got fired.
Oh my goodness.
But I was on my last straw for everything there. And then I was working at a bank, did not go well. I worked at a clothing store, did not go well. It was just like, after I found out that I love drag, I really did not want to do anything else. Because everything else that I was already interested in, like makeup and like clothing and like dancing, performing, everything was in drag. So I was like, I don't want to do something else. If this can be my life, that's what I want to do.
Now, you did work as a costume designer and makeup artist, and you worked on the finale of season 11.
Yes. That's so iconic.
What was that like? Oh, wait, there you go. with Miss Silky.
You know what was so crazy about that moment? Because I believe in like energy and what we speak and what we put out into the world, but also believe in like the way that things in the world work, they work. And so I felt like at that point I was like already in communication with like the producers and everything, hopefully to be on the show. But then I knew Silky because I had did makeup for her before, and she wanted me to be there, and I was like, I am so close to the show right now. Like I am literally backstage, like Rue is on the stage, like giving this before the curtain came up, and I'm like, I am not supposed to be right here watching this right now. I'm not supposed to see this, and maybe it will not happen for me. And then turned out it did not happen for me because we ended up doing it at home. But but I still made the show, and I still made like and made the top and everything. So it's crazy.
Wow,
Yeah.
honey, you certainly did make the top. Now make sure you're following Ms. Jaida Essence Hall on all social media, and follow us at Hey Qween TV. That's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Santa for Santa, L for Else, Snows Are Us. Erica, make up a website and make it Christmassy.
Christmas Queens at home.
.gov, obviously.
I love Christmas Mingle is usually where I go.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jaida.
That's www.christmasmingle.com. Find your true Santa.
Christmas Mingle just crashed right now. It's actually a crafting site for nice old ladies who like to talk about crafting, and their site just crashed.
Well, they'll find love too.
Yes, they will. All right, Jaida, honey, it's time to get into it.
Get into it. Get into it.
Yes.
We're going to talk all about your time on the race.
Okay, T.
Of course, we know you were the winner, honey. Now, what a season. You had Dahlia, Rock, Nikki, Aiden, Britta, Jan, Widow, Heidi, Jackie, Gigi, Crystal, she who now shall be named, and you, of course, the winner. How many times did you audition for Drag Race?
I auditioned one other time, like which is so cringy. Oh, I have it. That was the first time that I really auditioned. It was kind of decent, but I was a perfectionist in my head, so I kept like, fix it, clean it up, say this. And then by the time I was done, I had like cards in the front of me, trying to get them like, hi, I am Jaida Essence Hall from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, otherwise known as Jared. I love, and it was so robotic, and then I was like, they don't like me, what's wrong? And I looked back and I was like, girl, that's why, like, you look like a stiff. And then I also have like on my camera, like my video recorder, like the old school thing. Like now people just use phones, but it was like on my old little camcorder where I was like, the first year I was doing drag and I tried to audition for the show.
Uh-huh.
And I did not send that video in, and thank God I did not. That was the worst video ever.
What was your original Snatch game that year? Do you remember?
Then they didn't ask, I don't think they asked me for a Snatch
It was
game
the
on there.
simple years.
It was the simpler years. It was like, girl, are you sickening? And then they say, show us your closet. And you show the closet, and it's literally 3 things that's safety pinned together.
Right. By the time you did get on it, though, the application process was a lot more stiff.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important that it's like that because then you know what you're getting. You know what I mean? It's like, child, you could show somebody a beautiful closet and then they walk on the set and you're like, okay, girl, she got beautiful clothes, but ain't nothing else there.
Right.
You know?
So this time you finally get the word that you're
Yeah.
going to be on the show. How did you prepare? What were those few weeks like getting ready?
It was so hard because I literally made every single. There were 2 things that I did not make for myself on the show, which was the yellow tulle dress and the bridal gown, the black bride gown. Other than that, like everything else I made myself. So it was like in my mind, I was like, you have to figure out which things you can make, which things you can pull from the closet, like,
Yeah.
and immediately get on Instagram and delete those photos of you in those looks. And then,
Exactly.
Tricks of the trade,
Yes,
honey. Get all the
sweetie.
pictures down if you know you're taking it on the show because you don't want nobody reading you.
Right.
Because they'll upload all your pictures and then all of a sudden you're standing on the runway and they're like, oh, we've seen this already. You know.
I forgot that, of course, you made almost everything.
Yeah.
Honey.